Running a branch that's split over 3 sites was obviously going to always be difficult. It's been difficult in the past. It's been split now for 10 years. I think obviously the communication with staff was always going to be more difficult. Logistics in terms of picking goods, we can only pick from one area really. And in terms of picking goods, assembly, customer deliveries is always very difficult. And obviously operating 2 trade counters isn't ideal for customers.
It is a pain having to come to this side and the other heating side, across the road, the heating side, and it does put you off coming for collections.
Sometimes I know when guys are going to pick stuff up, and if they don't go that regularly, they end up going to the wrong side of the road and they have to go back over to the other side, and that can be a little bit of a frustration, I think.
It's just annoying trying to get across that dual carriageway. If you've got to go in the heating department and then the plumbing department, and then you forget something, then you've got to go all the way back round it again, and you sort of lose quite a bit of time.
With the old site, there was occasionally the problem where cylinders would be held at one part of the branch, radiators are held at another part of the branch. When the delivery came to us, someone didn't put the cylinder on. Although they were very good, we'd get the cylinder the next day or they'd post-haste it out to us. It did cause the odd problem, but wasn't major. But I think if it's all in one place, yeah, it'd definitely be beneficial to us.
Craddock Road was chosen because it was an old Jewson site. It was a site that 2 Jewson branches have operated in Reading for a few years now, one at Basingstoke Road and one at Craddock Road. So the decision was taken to use the land of Craddock Road, flatten the building, the old Jewson building, and build us a new state-of-the-art building for Graham. The new site is 50,000 square feet all in, with 43,000 square foot of that is the warehouse. Reading has always tried to operate some form of a showroom. In the past, we had a showroom across the road from the branch, separated from the main branch building and the trade counter, and that worked to a degree. But customers have been telling us over the years that they want a showroom. They want something to show their customers. It makes their lives easier, and we just feel that a merchant with our standing in this area really should have the showroom that is one of the best around.
You can steer people to go and have a look at the bathrooms rather than showing them brochures. So that's definitely an advantage.
They're always asking where to go to look. If they have it all on show, then it's ideal.
We'll be bringing in various ranges to the showroom, from the economy ranges to suit that type of customer, to the more plush and more upmarket type of sanitary ware. So we're hoping to incorporate sanitary ware that appeals to all ranges and all bands of customers, and along the way any new ranges that are introduced by suppliers, if we feel they would benefit our showroom, we will be incorporating them into that showroom. Many staff have been round to the new building. They've seen the plans, they've seen the early stages of drawings, and they've always been very, very exciting. I think anyone would admit that the building we're in now is a bit old and a bit worn and a bit run down. And they're very, very excited. Key advantages to customers are the opposites to the disadvantages we've mentioned really, in terms of one site. I think we've become a more streamlined merchant. Everything will be under the one roof, one trade counter. They can walk in, there's no sort of buying heating products on one side, having to negotiate the A33 as they have to now, to come to the plumbing side to buy their plumbing fittings, only probably invariably to remember they've forgotten something from the heating side and they're back around there again. In terms of trade counter collections, we're going to be much swifter, much more streamlined, and hopefully we can go forward and operate a real collect service where they're ordering their products in advance and we can have them in collection bays. We've got 3 collection bays in our new branch now, so hopefully customers can come in and collect very quickly with prior telephoned orders if that's a service they wish to use. And certainly in terms of deliveries, as I said earlier, we're only picking deliveries once. Trade counter collections will work however the customer wants it to work. If the customer's got a lot to collect, we'll be encouraging them to sit down, perhaps use the vending facilities that are there, perhaps watch TV, if that's what he'd like to do for a while, if there's quite a lot of goods to collect. And we will have pickers in the collection area or warehouse area actually doing the picking of goods, and those goods will be brought round to that customer.
Obviously everything will be under one roof, which will be a huge improvement. And the showrooms are going to be good. You know, you can actually see the sanitary ware in place, and yeah, it should be good.
It's all under one roof. Just save a lot of time.
The 2-site, 3-site thing hasn't really affected us particularly, but it has had issues in the past, although not more recently. But I think it's got to be better for the staff at the branch, they've got to be able to be more confident in their delivery, and rather than, as you say, relying on a computer and thinking, oh, it's over the other side of the road, have we got it? They can, you know, physical checks. I'm sure that the whole thing will be, you know, 21st century rather than a little archaic.
And it should be almost like a production line. This is the whole idea of it, I believe.
Once we'll obviously have a settling in period of a few weeks, hopefully, in terms of sort of staff finding their feet. I think we'll very, very quickly improve our delivery service. Our trade counter collection area is superb. There will be more staff in the SCA to what people are to that customers are used to seeing. On one trade counter, sometimes there'd be 3, maybe 4 on the heating. Sometimes we'd have 4 or 5 on the plumbing side. But with the sales office supporting the trade counter, as it will now, being in conjunction with each other, there'll definitely be more and probably more experienced, knowledgeable staff in that area at all times. We do have staff. Got one guy who's worked for us for 40 years, 43 years now. We've probably got about 20 staff that have more than 10, 15 years service. So we've got some very loyal, very, very knowledgeable staff in certain areas around the branch.
There's no point phoning someone up and they don't know what the product is. And most of the lads here seem pretty good.
Sometimes you might want something unusual, like do they do a flue kit that will do this, or is there a bath of, like, can we get this size bath with no tap holes? And that will come down to product knowledge. And as you say, there's a lot of experience there.
I know on a number of occasions when Ted, our stores person, is ordering the stuff, he has to ask some technical stuff to see if we're getting the right product for the right job. And yes, they have helped out occasionally on that.
Generally, I don't think we've sort of caught them out with strange requests as yet.
You need to be able to shout at somebody when things go wrong, because we're all human, we all make mistakes, don't we? So you need to be able to talk to somebody, one specific person, which we do.
If you haven't got a working relationship with the people you're ordering from, things do go astray. If I order something, I want to make sure it gets delivered. If for any reason they can't deliver, I want a phone call to say I've not had it. We get that from Graham, and you get that by knowing who you're talking to, who you're dealing with. We deal with the same people. If they're not available, there's always somebody else there that will pick up the mantle and take it over.
It is important for me anyway to have someone I know on the other end of the phone.
I mean, one person, one key contact is very important to us. You know, you're not being passed around. You know, that one person deals with the jobs that you're doing and he knows exactly what's going in and out of them.
We're looking to obviously hold on to the experienced staff that we've got, the experienced staff that are really excited by the move. That if we can add increased staff morale to a knowledge that they already have and the experience they already have, good people are very hard to find in this industry, and we think we've got lots of them. We think we've already got a very loyal base, a very loyal customer base, customers that use us most of the time for deliveries, as well as customers that use us most of the time for collections.
The best thing about Graham's? Well, they've got excellent, I mean, their staff are great.
The amount of stock they've got is just incredible, really, compared to a lot of the other merchants. If you want something there and then, you'll get it there and then from them.
Obviously, price is important. There's no question about that, especially at the moment, because, you know, we're being squeezed by our customers and it passes all the way down the line.
Nothing's too much of a problem, you know. Sometimes you take them for granted, and we do. We pick up the phone and say, oh, I need this. And you don't realise, you know, how much work goes into them probably putting it. It's taking them for granted, but I think if you're taking someone for granted, it means you're getting the service from them, because you're not thinking, oh, well, can I ask them this? You just it just comes out because you know they get on with it and do it.
All I want them to do is deliver the goods when we ask for, at the right price. And if they do that, then that's fine.
I mean, a lot of companies we could spend the same amount of money with as we do with Graham's, but we stick with them because they look after us.
Current stock holding over all 3 sites is 2.5 million at the moment. It's been as high as 3.5 in the past, but our current stock value is 2.5 million across all ranges, plumbing, heating and sanitary ware.
If they haven't got it in stock, nobody else will have. They just seem to carry more than other merchants.
What we do is I'll talk to Graham's, say I've got a contract coming up. I'm going to be, over the next 3 months, using 50 boilers, Baxi boilers or Ideal boilers. They will go through the specs together. They will agree to get the stock in. So we don't have to hold the stock. We haven't got the space here. The branch at Reading has got the space. They'll get the stock in for us. We call it on a weekly basis what we need. It works well.
One of the big advantages is the stock. It is such a big branch. You nearly always walk out with what you came in here for.
Because of the volumes that we're looking at, we have to have suppliers who can cope with the demand that we've got. And where their benefit has come is that sometimes, especially when you start a site, we don't get very much notice. We might get a phone call today and they want us on site within a couple of days. So therefore, if we have to gear up, you know, the first fix items to get started, we can just phone them up, and generally, as I say, they've sorted it. They know what you've got in stock, and you know that their stock levels will probably cope with most demands that you've got.
Because we're contract plumbing and heating, it's pretty stock items, as in the heating. Sanitary ware they have to get in, but there again they have a schedule at the start of the site, and they know how many units, how many types, how many plots, and then it's all in, ordered in. I don't know if it all comes in bulk, but it comes in on a steady flow, so it's ready for us to call off at a certain date.
We feel that we've only improved with this move. We've certainly made giant steps forward on top of the service that our loyal customers had already come to expect. So with everything under one roof, a fantastic new trade counter, new facilities generally, and increased staff morale, which will have a benefit on customer service. We feel now more than any other time is a time to really use Graham's of Reading.
Should have done it years ago, I think.